and shit. But
yeah, what'd you
that's
say?
my
What you
target
say
market.
about the video?
Your video?
No, you said 05. You just said you got a video that's out there.
Yeah, I got the light up. That's more positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one I would rather prefer, motherfucker. But I got music on all major platforms. My first big deal was through Sony Orchard. Right now, I got the deal through UMG. But I'm more so of a businessman. I do consultation, marketing, artist development. I got connections at Empire, at Wack, other record label, because he's the man down there, Entertainment One. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Eve Fouché, you know what I'm saying, who was running shit down there. Empire. I got connections, and I pretty much try to utilize that to help these artists.
No, I already get it. You know what I'm saying? 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we need in the community. You know what I'm saying? People that's out there that's really trying to help, because at the end of the day, some people will get a helping hand, but they always look for major return. Like, you know, of course, everybody looking for a return. But when I say major, I'm talking like it's over. It's like it's overpayment on everything they doing. You feel me? So I respect that, man. Respect what you got going on. You feel me? But I wanted to ask you a question.
I'm underpaid,
though.
Right?
You underpaid?
Real quick. Man, listen, I charge like, I don't even want to talk unless we talk at $2,500, right? At the minimum. What's your budget looking like? And if it ain't give me $2,500 and you got $2,500, then I don't even want to take it, because I understand the intricacies and how much work has to go behind it with such a small budget. If you listen to Coach what's the boy name? With Migos and their manager and everybody in the game, Cardi B, you talking about $250,000 to really break a artist on a big level, like what it took to get Cardi where she at. You know what I'm saying? National and international. So, you know, now there's other things that people don't understand, just like, for instance, you got Death of the Cloud Chasers blog. So the more traffic you get, the more money you get. So you have a nice platform where you might be like, well, you know what? I like this is interesting. I want to interview this nigga for free. He got a little fan base also, et cetera, et cetera. So you have a lot of blogs that have that same market or target that I'm trying to target market my products to, whether it's merch or music or whatever we're trying to sell. So, you know, me and I could get on your blog for free. Other blogs might be like, oh, I need $100. You know what I'm saying? Or for you getting 3 posts a week or whatever the fuck the different deals that they come out with. Then you got to make sure that you register in these artists, which they don't do. Register their music with the copyright office, which is only $60, but getting into who's on the song, who produced the song, and giving everybody their credit, and making sure that you own your master. Making sure that before you release it, you buy your own ISRC codes and UPC code. You know, it's so much different shit. You have your own press release going out. You know what I'm saying? All of this shit has to be done for every artist, and I'm barely getting $2,500 to start, because most of the dudes I deal with, they ain't rich. These dudes might have a job and oh man, I wanted to get it. I think I'm that talented. And I'll be like, look, bro, if it ain't worth this, then don't give me that. That being said, I manage one artist, OHB, which is Chris Brown, which is Chris Brown group. I also used to manage John Teasy from Atlanta. Right now I manage a supermodel named Freckles, another boxer down out in Carolina. So it's not just for music. It's not just for movies and acting and all of that. I manage over a lot of different things. I'm really a businessman. So that's why when you look on here, you see my name is Lamonte. I don't want to introduce myself to people like, oh, I'm CK Eminem, but that's what they gonna expect. And I can see a Crip right now and he tell me where he from, I'm not gonna have no issue with that dude. Now, if he come with that energy because he know who I am or something, then I'm gonna meet that energy. But that's definitely not the way I'm trying to go, you know?
No, no doubt, no doubt. And like that brings me to ask you this question. Like when it came to like you seen the Big Stretch interview and you know what I'm saying, he was talking about like the politics with like Harry O and like 500,000, you know what I'm saying, in that bathroom. Like they had to cut that check.
Right. Yeah, they did that. And then it wasn't just that. Once Suge seen that, you know what I'm saying, he seen the threat. And then, you know, Stretch went into some shit about the paperwork out here, right? Now, that's what I disagreed with him with. And he probably just didn't know because he specifically answered to you. His reply was, as far as I know, the UBN is on the West Coast is the same on the East Coast.
Right.
He was wrong there.
Yeah, I know he was wrong because I asked him.
But he didn't know because
he said it was a difference.
He no cut.
And he said
he no cut,
Louis
so he would know.
Yeah.
You know, no cut mean that you ain't involved in any paperwork, and that's like
because they said something about like a letter going underneath your door. You know what I'm saying? A letter go underneath your door while you in that cell, and a letter go underneath your door. Then from there, whatever that letter say, that's what you got to do, and then now you cut.
Right. And he's no cut. In fact, one of the niggas, it wasn't the UBNs that stabbed Stretch. It was the BLs, the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? So that was in the blood march. He said he got stabbed twice at two different times, but the one I knew about and heard about was the one in the blood march. You know what I'm saying? And that was by some bloodline. So I heard he wasn't UBN. I heard he wasn't BL. So he wouldn't be knowledgeable about their politics and the intricacies of that. Because in fact, he stood against, for all I heard, against everything that they was pushing. And that's one of the reasons he got. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. You talking about like like something about like a dorm that happened to him, like it was inside a dorm?
Well, this one was, the blood module was the LA County Jail, right? So this one was, I think, 1996 or 1997. My homie Lil Killer Jess was in there, rest in peace, for double murder, robbery, kidnapping, some shit with some Jamaicans and shit. But he ended up beating that. But before he beat it, he was in the module and fucked with Stretch because he was like, that nigga's a gangster and all of that. And whatever had happened, these dudes didn't like it, the dudes that was on the paperwork or whatever. And they supposed to have some bras pull him out for visit. So you in your cell, you got the bounty hunter cell, whatever it was, 10 on Baker Road. You got the next door to them, you might have the Hacienda Village because they're close to the bounty hunters in proximity on the street. Then downstairs, you might have the Brim tank. Well, the Brims had two tanks. The 20 Bloods, the Black Pea Stone, right? Then upstairs, you might have the Pyrus, you know? So, and they ain't got the same shit I was talking about in New York. They don't have no enemies that they're fighting in that blood module. So they pretty much become a cancer and politic and fight each other most of the time. You know what I'm saying? And some shit happened. They rack his cell, visit. He like, visit. He get ready. Police cuff him up or whatever. He come out, he handcuffed. He not knowing that some other niggas supposed to had they girls call him out for the visit or whatever. And they got their handcuff keys and their knives and they was ready. You know what I'm saying? They came out the cuffs and got him while he was still in the cuff. You know? So, I heard about that, but niggas told me that he fought. I mean, what can you do but while you handcuffed, but try to throw niggas off you and, you know? So it was a fucked up situation, man. But everything I heard, that dude was a solid hog. And
he said he just came home off 25 straight. 25 straight.
That's about right there. And that means he just got out from that bid, 96, 97, right?
Right.
Yeah. But as far as that move, yeah, that should gave them hunters some money. So they definitely pressed up on them. You know, they wasn't coming. They wasn't coming just to talk. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers take a position. Yeah. You got to stand on that.
They, like Mob James saying his story. They talk about green eyes and Rat, Big Rat, OG Big Rat, what's his name? They talk about these two individuals who was there, but they said it was a third or fourth individual, and that's he shit. You see, he was on point with the whole story, like you know what I'm saying?
Can you repeat that? You was in the Matrix.
I said like it was one of the homies who was in the story, Green Eyes from Bounty Hunters, you know what I'm saying, Lot Boys,
Right.
And then it was another guy, it was Big Rat. I forget his other handle. It's Big Rat something. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it was him, and Mob James had basically spoke on it. He was like, he remembered that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it was already verified.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, motherfucker from the outside looking in, you hear about all the gangster shit Suge did, and you assume that he's a well-rounded gangster. I guess that story kind of
because like you know,
so
like what he
you
was saying, and like he was saying, what struck me was like he was like, yo, they pulled up, Suge was out doing something, and he was near to wherever they was at, right? But he was outside, I guess, by himself, and then they roll up on him. He said that nigga started running up them stairs. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Big Suge.
Yeah, running for the elevator.
Yeah,
he was
running for that shit. Then they finally end up getting upstairs, and then you know.
Well, he didn't say he actually ran. He said he beeline, which means you speedy walking, you hurrying up. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I got from that too. But that dude, I could tell he a real nigga, and I really want to plug with him when he got to talking about what if you don't if you ain't got nothing to teach your kids, then the streets already got something. They definitely gonna teach them that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That let me know where his focus was at. When you like, well, what would you tell these kids today? Just his whole response. I said, man, this is the best interview I heard on YouTube in my life, bro. In my life.
Oh, dope. I try to ask the right questions at the right time. You feel me? Of course, I got a format.
That interview might just save somebody's life, even if it's one kid,
right,
who decides not to get in because he's at that point, that crossroad in his life where he's being pressured to join and all of that type of shit. Maybe he heard that interview and decides, nah, man, you know what? I'm gonna go shoot this hoop, man. Y'all go ahead. You know, that might save his motherfucking life, man.
Exactly, because you heard me ask him, like, you know what I'm saying? Because most people gonna ask that question, like, man, when it comes down to what you missed the most when you was in prison, you know that the most question that people gonna say is family, like they miss family, loved ones. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you heard me say, like, man, besides that, you know, and I just wanted just to reflect on that because a lot of people take that shit for granted too. He was like, man, I miss the trees. I miss motherfucking going to eat when I want to eat. Like, I miss a lot of different shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of the earth.
Yeah.
But we got 050 Chyna Brim in the building, man. 050 Chyna Brim. What's good, family?
That's pretty much how motherfuckers is living in that prison.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hey, bro, I want you to chime in on the conversation. Like, he was talking about, like, the different aspects of, like, different modules inside of where he from, you know what I'm saying, the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? And I want you to talk about the East Coast. Like, was it similar? Like, they had, like, okay, this might be, you know what I'm saying, sex, money, murder, whole module. This might be Crips module, shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, certain hoods on the East Coast is different. You might find one or two blocks that's straight Brims or straight Billies, but it's so mixed up. It ain't like one block I had probably like 6, 7 gangs on one block, homie. Like we don't got it where if you Brim, your whole block Brim, like how West Coast got it. That's why it's so mixy out here. You got Bloods running with Crips, Bloods running with folks. You know, everybody bang on everybody. It's just crazy.
Oh, wow.
That's how New York do it.
100.
You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because when I was coming up, and this is recently this happened, like 10 years, I say under 10 years, because when I was growing up in this blood shit, I'm gonna be honest, I never even seen a Crip walk down the block. I never even seen a Crip in my neighborhood. But it's just that the homies got so relaxed and they just started accepting it. Now I got family relatives that's Crip I gotta look at. So now it's normal. But back in the days, you can't have a Crip on a blood block, and I don't know. I'm not against it. I ain't gonna say I'm against it because it's here and there's nothing we could do. But my generation, I was accustomed where I didn't see no Crips, and the Crips that I did see was probably one or two, and they was real Crips, and they really wasn't from New York. They was from down south or LA somewhere. But just like in the penitentiaries, you know, you had OGs who was on the Black Power, Black Empowerment, and let the Crips live in certain facilities. And homies wasn't with it, but they did it. And now you got facilities that ain't allowing blood homies in there. You know what I'm saying? We opened the door for them, but we got stabbed in our back. That's our shit. We got all these Crips out here. I'll be asking myself, where the fuck you came from? There's a lot of Crips I know was blood back in my days. But people go with the wave. That must be the new wave.
Let me ask you a question though, like when it comes to like, you know what I'm saying, we got the history on like, you know what I'm saying, you say you from the second generation, you like to credit that, right?
Yeah, a lot of niggas credit the first generation. Yeah, I'm from the first generation. I don't like to say that because I look at CK and them niggas, I respect them. You know what I'm saying, the originals. So I would never put myself in their shoes. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, while they was on the island, I was a Sparfit in DFY, but I still was jacking it, if you understand what I'm saying. Sparfit, like a kid's detention. Until I went upstate in DFY.
Gotcha. So like, so you coming from like the second generation, like, so was the same impact that the Latin Kings had on the first generation, was it around for the second too?
To be honest, the second generation, that's when it was still hard. All right, the first generation opened the doors. You know what I'm saying? They broke that damn door down. Solidify who the homies was. The second generation, we had to like really bang for codes. We had to prove ourselves, but it wasn't easy because the second generation was really trying to open the spots in the jail. We was growing in jail, so it was more walls. So we wasn't going against each other. Now how can I say, the third and fourth generation, that's when all the bullshit started coming. All the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? New sets, we broke apart, sets opened up, people fighting for status and all that other shit. You know? So yeah, that was the part of the generation, like third, fourth, where shit just started getting fucked up. But the first and second, man, it was a beautiful ride. As far as in my eyes, it was a beautiful ride. I was happy to see a homie. You know, you'll go to a facility, it's probably only like 10 of us in there. It was pleasure to see a homie. Now, I'm behind the wall. I hate seeing a homie. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just the gesture is so negative. Everything is negative. No, back then we was doing negative shit, but it wasn't amongst us. We wasn't warring amongst us.
Is this around the time when, like, you know, I interviewed different people. They would say like, you know what I'm saying, it was like a time where the Bloods, they was just on fully cutting. They cutting the shit out of motherfuckers.
Yeah, I ain't come from. We put in a lot of work. It was a lot of cutting going on. A lot of work. But it was more cutting against Latin Kings. And at that time, we was going to war mainly with Nientas when I came in. You know what I'm saying? With the Spanish people. That's when I came in, that's who we was going to war with. It wasn't no cutting amongst us cutting each other. Blacks cutting blacks. The cutting came with us cutting blacks is when we divided each other. Start opening up different nations, power struggle, backbiting each other, people taking sides. That's when that happened.
Now that's something else these youngsters need to hear, because they get sold on just everything, the highlights of it. All the bitches love gangsters. Gangsters get all the money, but they don't see all that tripe shit.
See, I keep it real. I'll tell them straight up, right? If I could go back, I would never be a gang member. I'm being honest. This is something that, and it's crazy because I didn't ask to be this. That's the funny part. I didn't walk up to the homies and say, yo, I want to be blood. That day came, nigga. I popped off with the homies, with my big fool. I popped off at the time. I was young. And niggas slid me paperwork. I'm like, what the fuck is this? At the time, I'm like, blood? Ain't that some West Coast shit? Like, we copycatters. But it was an impact, and all my sons, you know, they was with it. I'm like, all right, let me play with this shit a little bit. See how I didn't think it was gonna be as dramatic as it is now. I just thought it was gonna be like some little kid shit. Until I got with the big boys, I'm like, wow, this shit is really serious. This blood shit is real.
Right.
And then it went off. But I didn't come to no table. I didn't have to shoot no 31s and fight niggas and they jump me and all that. I didn't do none of that shit because at the time I was young and I was on go time. I was already putting in work, stomping the shit out of the COs with the homies. Because I had an asshole full of time as a kid. So my mind was, I didn't give a fuck. I'm gonna be in jail anyway. And I'm a max out. So I was just putting that work in. But the homies, I ain't gonna front, they was violent, and as we was kids, they was the most violent niggas. So if I'm violent and they violent, you know what I'm saying? We all moving together. So they just slid me the paperwork in my cell. Was like, yo, homie, read this. And that's back then when we was calling each other thick like quick. If an old school homie know from the East Coast, they know that was that was the first, before anything, we used to call each other thick like quick. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Thick like quick and all this. Yo, this is this. And I'm like, all right. I ran with it. But I didn't think it was that serious. I didn't think damn near my whole life I'm going to be involved in this shit. But I ain't gonna lie. If I had the chance to turn things around, I would have turned things around, because a lot of mothers cried. You know what I'm saying? I done lost a lot of people for this shit. And listen, I see it like this. Right now, I would never tell my son to turn blood. So what that tells you, that's a fact. If a man is gangbanging right now and he would tell his son to turn blood, personally, I think the nigga got an issue. He need to go down to mental health.
Well, that's what my pops is on. My pops from the set, one of the founders of Blood, you know? Yeah. One of the founders of Chyna Brim in LA. And he's showing up that shit. You ever seen the movie South Central? Where when he was little, they got the little the little baby throwing up Hoover Duse and all that type of shit when he was 6, 7, 8 years old.
But I think she the West Coast. Y'all was more like how I look at it. I don't know, but the pictures and y'all was more like solid with the blood shit
Back then.
Hey, yo, bad. Mute yourself, gang. What's going on?
Yeah, I hear a bunch of shit in the background. Yeah, you hear me?
Yo, we can.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is powerful, man. Especially a motherfucker in your position, right? A motherfucker with the respect that you done garnered over the years doing it, what you've been through. This ain't nothing that you heard. This is what you done seen from the inside.
Facts.
So that's powerful.
Like,
I hope this shit go viral.
Like I came home, right? When I was behind the wall, my son, I got a 19-year-old, right? And he never told me he was banging. He never told me he was homie. I come home, everybody like, yo, you know your son is saying he's under you. You know how that made me feel? And it's sad to know that I'm blood, but I will never let my son claim this as a father.
Well, you know, that first of all, that shows your humanity and your intelligence, right? And but that's kind of like what the mob used to be on. We gonna be the gangsters and break the laws, sell this alcohol and extort motherfuckers so that our kids can be the lawyers, the businessmen, you know?
Basically.
And yeah.
I'm not up. Even though right now, yeah, he do claim, and I had to accept it, but it hurts me every time. I won't never piece him. I just can't do it.
I respect that.
You know what I'm saying? I just can't do it. But I ain't gonna lie.
Chyna Brim. Hey, hold on. Shout out my boy Zeke Black, man. But you know what's crazy? Like, it's people in my comments, they think you Zeke Black now because of your voice and shit. They thought Zeke Black was talking when you was talking. Let them know it's Chyna Brim, man.
Yeah. You already know.
You got your own voice. I told you, Chyna.
Yeah.
Yo, no disrespect, yo. That's why I never joined those gangs, yo. My uncles, my older cousin. Now, I mean, we talked 050 Chyna Brim on Instagram and all that. Now, I mean, like the shit is watered down. Like, yo, big homies be like, yo, just get your money, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Stay out the drama and BS, cause it's not the same. Now, I mean, like,
yo, this shit is a virus. Like, I call this, I'm gonna be honest with you, for years, I call this shit like.
Yeah, and it then went somewhere else, and now she got like a little festival and it's growing. So I really just, I fuck with Amber just as a person, an individual. She cool people.
Thank you, Wack. I fuck with you too.
Who was that? Oh, you in here?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you was in here. Yeah, you know, you my partner. You know Amber. You know Amber will tell you. And once every blue moon, she just get a text or a DM from me.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell you asked me the other day, Wack. You crazy.
Oh, no, you do. I'm going to tell you about that.
Shout out, Wack.
It was a lesson, you know.
Yeah.
I use it as, you know, a learning experience. It was lessons for me on what to do, what not to do. And, you know, everything that I went through made me the strong woman that I am today. I mean, I don't suggest the streets for anybody. And times is different now. I really don't suggest it right now, but, you know, for anybody, you know. And that's why I said I wrote the book, because people think that the streets was all this money, you know, cars, clothes, getting the chick, getting the dude. But behind the scenes, it was a lot of craziness going on. People was getting killed, you know, the stresses of, you know, going to prison, you know, it was a lot. And it just was it worth it? Not really, you know, to be honest with you. Back then, the risk was definitely worth the reward because the money was plentiful. But was it worth it, you know, in a whole? Not really. You know, no.
Right.
Because I lost a lot of people.
Yeah,
Let me see. You authored.
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead, AK. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so just want to follow up, like people going to prison and stuff, like being that you did experience a lot of lockup, not so much yourself, but with your peers or people around you. Are you in support of taking children into the state penitentiary?
This is my thing, because when Ace went to jail and my daughter was born, I never took my daughter there. I took my daughter because I was like, dang, they gave him 20 to life. And I was like, wow. So I did take her there. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it because, like when I did take her, I took her, she did trailer visits with her father because it gave her a chance to know her father. Wow. She thought daddy was in school. It was Daddy Ace was in school, so that's what we called it. And she used to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to see Daddy Ace at school or whatever. She was so happy to see her dad and, play with him. And so I don't know. It just depends. It definitely does. What I don't like? What I don't agree with, you got a lot of these dudes on the street, ain't do shit for their baby mother, ain't do shit for their kids, but then they want to be on a horn, wilding on shit about a package. Hold on for a minute. What's up, kid? Hi, baby. How you doing? Hi.
It's Duff for the Cloud Chaser TV. Gang.
It's all good. Nah, that's
I don't agree.
You outside?
Yeah, I'm outside always.
Yeah, outside.
So when these dudes, you do shit, you say fuck your family, but then when you get locked up, everybody disperses, but that one chick that wanted to love you or whoever, want to be there for you, you want to wild out on her, you want to bring the kids up, packages and all that crazy shit. That shit there is like, I got a problem with dudes that do that. One thing I respected about Ace, when he got locked up, he didn't ask me for nothing. He said, once he blew trial, he said, T, I don't need nothing, just raise our daughter. And I respected him for that. He didn't bother me about nothing, but I made sure he had stuff, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't say, he wasn't all on my back, bring my daughter, I need packages and shit like that. He did his time. And he knew the stress of raising a child, as a single mother. And he said, just raise our daughter, I'm good. And I respected him for that. I respect him wholeheartedly for that. Like, I'll do anything for him, So I don't know. It just depends, how you feel about taking your kid because, I don't like the way they be treating these kids when you come up there. They don't have no respect. They be nasty from what I hear, up in these prisons to the visitors. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So I guess you got to, use your own discretion when it comes to that.
I definitely understand that. I'm in California, so it's a little bit different than New York, but I definitely understand that. Thank you so much, though, for answering my questions. I want to throw it to my homegirl, Chanel, who's also a Trolls Nation teammate.
Hey, Miss T. So I just wanted to ask you, do you have any boyfriends that you think taught you?
We'll be able to get money and we'll be able to change the narrative,
Hell yeah. That's a good mindset. That's a good mindset to have, though.
Well, especially when you talk about you a black revolutionary independent militant soldier, right? The niggas
I want to ask you something. How do you? I remember 10 years. Niggas asked us, how would blood look in 10 years, right? And it got worse within 10 years. How do you look at it in another?
Still gonna be beefing and all that because ain't GKB and all.
We're in New Jersey right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit going on. Now, I mean, like, I don't know if you was in the loop, Chyna Brim, but yeah, the niggas was beefing and all that. I forgot his name, Hamburger. He was on Queen's Flip. Now, I mean, and he.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's that 252 shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I mean, like, and then OG Mac coming home. Now I mean, still the side from 183rd. I'm hearing. Now I mean, niggas said they still. I mean, at the end, but
they still love them even though the paperwork on them.
Yeah, like.
But that tell you a lot about them.
Hey, how do y'all feel about OG Mac? I want to know that, man.
Man, I'm not even gonna talk about it, man. Y'all go ahead.
I don't even want to speak. I don't even want to speak about that neither.
It's the same page.
I'm gonna tell you about he's a fraud and a rat. Eminem said that. Duse said that. He's a fraud.
Just me being a civilian.
That nigga's a part. That nigga's a part of that wave, man. If we claim that we don't fuck with niggas like that, why is he an exception? Just because he a forefather, why he an exception? That shit is no good no more, man.
You forfeit on
what you did. What you did is not. What he did is not acceptable. If they want to accept that, just like Chyna said, that shows them who they are.
Facts. Right.
That's simple as that.
So y'all saying there's paperwork on this man?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Paperwork.
Don't get me wrong, real quick.
SI sent it to me.
Real quick, y'all. See, don't get me wrong, right? I know about gang culture. I just never been a part of a gang. I'm a civilian. I'm just trying to learn what's going on, basically. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to put input and stuff that I don't know nothing about. So I'm just trying to learn, like, you know what I mean? I grew up knowing about OG Mac, but not knowing that he was a rat and all this other stuff. So I'm just trying to learn and get knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well.
Wait, 2013, 2014, before Garland Tyree died, he emailed me the paperwork on OG Mac. So, and I read it myself. He had,
okay.
So before all this shit even got started, he was a rat. So, yeah, that dude's no good. Whatever stripes he did earn, whatever he did contribute, all that shit is forfeited when you snitch.
Yeah,
that's what the youngsters don't get.
Yeah, that shit is out the window there.
Okay, I get that.
Man.
But what would you say? What would you say
right today?
Yo, listen.
Today,
I'm gonna
same shit.
Yo, peace to the brother. Salute, love. This is Fanatic Brim, 5-9 Prime Time. Just like they saying right now by my big homie that's in the feds right now. My big homie Elevator that's under dead eye for the 5-9 click, right? They said that he ratted, but nobody's giving out that paperwork right now.
Then that's different. Because we talking about something specific. We seen the paperwork.
This is what I'm saying.
With Elevator, the case ain't done.
That's exactly. It's not nearly done. But I seen a text, yo, Chyna, I seen a text. He said that they offered him bail, matter of fact. I can send you the text. What? He said that he got another bail coming up. I don't even know, bro. That shit sounds real stupid. I'll send you that shit on another time.
Hey, would y'all say, I want to ask somebody a question, any one of y'all, anybody can answer. So would you say OG Mac was a big contributor on the East Coast?
He's one of the forefathers, yes.
Okay.
For us over here, yeah.
But ended up turning out to be a snitch.
Right.
And a fraud.
That nigga had niggas.
OG Mac was one of the East Coast niggas that got accepted on the West Coast.
No, he wasn't, bro. I'm telling you, I'm from the West Coast.
He was
never.
Nah. I was told he lied. He lied about that. He was never really.
He never really touched home base.
Man, you got to dig deeper, man. And motherfuckers, I'm thinking that most of y'all already, that heard that, man. Yeah, that dude, he was never official.
Factual. That's what I heard.
Let me tell you this, right? He said this is his story, what he came to New York with, that he's a Mill against the blood that got initiated by a Black P Stone, T. Rogers, right? This is what he came and told your people, taught your people, all of the homies in New York. This is what he came with. First and foremost, the only person that can make you Mill against the blood or be another Mill against the blood, or maybe an Anthony, because it's Anthony Miller, you know? So he's a fraud. None of the homies from Millers know about him. When I talk to the homies from Millers and ask them about him, they look at me like I was crazy. T. Rogers already made it clear. I got a post, you know, rest in peace, T. Rogers. That's one of my big homies, right? I really fucked with him, and we was really working on some shit. But and I got the post in my Instagram, on my Instagram, where he said, I told them dudes about OG Mac. OG Mac contacted me one time, and I told them dudes that dude is not official. The only 5 is L, you know, the Black P Stone knowledge. Peace, love. How you say it, Big Chuck? It's the 5 letters.
Oh, Big Chuck.
Yeah,
Big Chuck.
Big Chuck.
He's up there, but his mic is
Where the
off.
brother go?
Yeah, he's still up here. He probably just doing something else right now.
Yeah.
But on that post, he made it clear, no blood gangs rise to 5 except Black P Stone. And that was only because T. Rogers came from Chicago and he was repping Black P Stone because his cousin is Jeff Fort. Free Jeff Fort. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
but or his brother, whichever one, I might got that part mixed up, whether that's his brother or his cousin. Right?
Yep.
And
so you said no blood ride the 5?
Yeah, like
none,
that's what I'm trying to
except
figure
Black
out.
P Stone.
Except Black
When they
P Stone.
Lamonte, hey OG, how do you feel about East Coast blood?
I got niggas from New York that I might go back to prison for if something happened to them.
Okay.
Same thing in B-More, same thing in St. Louis if they official. You know what I'm saying? And I've been dealing with these dudes from years. They didn't show me that loyalty, and they didn't show me what's really in their heart. And that's how you tell the difference between the real blood and the fake. It's what's in their heart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I feel that.
On FA10.
Yeah, but yeah, man, if you come to LA, you'll find out not one blood set except Black P Stones ride the 5. So you got niggas that's 35th Street and they'll bang the 5, but it's not the 5-point star. It's not 5 times. It's just like niggas repping they blocks. You know what I'm saying? You got motherfuckers like the Crip nigga, 5-5 neighborhood Crip. What's his name? C-Mac, retarded nigga. 5
that nigga retarded as hell.
He sure is, bro.
Right. Well, you got, but he got even being retarded, he got enough sense and enough decency in himself to be out there helping the community and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real shit.
So you know, even though he get disrespectful and shit at times, and you know, that little part of me be like, man, I should go out here and make an example of this little kid, you know? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, my time came and go. If that's what these youngsters is comfortable with, then so be it. But especially another young brother trying to do something, hopefully he live long enough to find his way. You know? Yeah. So
okay, I want to ask a question. For the East Coast bloods like me that's over here and we begging the 5 and all that. And my idea is to somewhat come to the home base soon enough, right? So if I come over there and I'm around the 5 and I'm saying 5 this, 5 that, how would I react to how would I react? How would the homies react to me?
It depends on who you with, and you come out here like that, you better have somebody that's somebody, because niggas gonna be like, who the fuck is you? Is you the police? Like, niggas ain't looking for no friends, you know? Now, you say, if you bump into a nigga at a club or at somewhere at swap meet or something, and niggas like, where you from? And you tell them, and they be like, what you doing out here? Where that's at? What's that? You know, you might find somebody who gonna embrace you just as a blood, but motherfuckers ain't trying. You see all these indictments going on and shit.
Yeah,
yeah. You better already have somebody, and that somebody, you know, everybody tell you they this. Oh, I'm this over here. I can do this and I can do that, and you get over here and you find out them niggas is real little homies. My G homies is 68, 67, 60. My dad is 64, 65. So you talk about motherfuckers. I know Big Wolf from Westside, who was a Piru Street. He's 70 years old, 71 years old. Right. So you got motherfuckers that you talking to that's 22, 21, and they telling you they OGs and all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So
that be killing me too, OG. I ain't gonna lie, that be killing me too, man.
Yeah, they might got stripes though, but they might got stripes like that, but you know, and really where I'm from, my young homies run the hood. That they the ones out there on the front line. They the ones that's taking penitentiary chances. So it's only right that they the ones that make the decisions over their life. Now, if they driving drunk or something, you gonna have a nigga like me, like, look, bro, you got these little niggas following behind you. Y'all niggas finna crash and burn. Nigga, I love you niggas. I've been there. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's not the way to go about that. They don't gotta listen to me. You feel me? They, out of respect, most of them do, but they ain't gotta listen to me. They can still go do what they want to do as long as they willing to handle that time that come with not listening. You know what I'm saying? Or handle them bullet shells that come without listening. Because if motherfuckers see that motherfucker headed into prison for life on some goofy shit, I mean, listen, man, self-preservation, you do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, bro, I'm be like, man, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your family. Because at the end of the day,
stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, motherfuckers be, fuck that. I don't want to hear no peace shit. And we out here active. And okay, you know, I'm gonna pray for you, love. I wish you the best. Be safe, stay dangerous. You know.
Hey, let me ask you something, right, yo? How do you know when a blood, a homie, is following the real history? Because from my understanding, if you're not following the right history, you're not real right then. Is that accurate?
Well, on the East, that's what they're gonna tell you now, because first and foremost, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the original blood set, the LA Brim. You feel me? So the niggas that wrote the cheat code and what we represent was preceded the Crip. The Brims preceded the Crip, right? The dudes that wrote the code that we living by is the ones that raised. And one of my big homies told me when I got in the feds, right? I'm like, bro, when I was on Victorville, USP in federal prison, and it was homies from New York, and they fell up under us, and we didn't get no pushback as to the history or nothing. I didn't even inquire. It's 300 and some bloods on there. It's four dudes from New York. They gon', oh shit, this is how the homie's active. This is how it go. They just watching and following suit. So now I get to Colorado and it's more East Coast bloods or whatever. And these dudes is, we repping the 5 and OG Mac this. And I'm like, what? But I ain't heard none of that shit. And I asked my big homie, he said, man, when you met them, did they tell you they was bloods? I said, yeah. He said, well, you embrace them as such. If they start doing something that is not in contrast to what we stand for, then it's your responsibility to teach each one, construct. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I've been pushing ever since. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I've known, not to cut you off, brother, but I've known a lot of blood, right, in my lifetime, right? I grew up on an all-blood block, right? But that doesn't mean they was following the right rules, like, because there's a history to this. See, when they used to come up to the dudes like, what you claim, who you bang, and what's your name? You feel me? So if they said the wrong thing, I grew up in the cutting season where they was just cutting other bloods and bloods was cutting other people. So I grew up in that kind of era. And if you didn't know your history, they was eating your food. That's what they called it. You know what I'm saying?
You see why the difference is when the bloods over there started on Riker, right? The bloods on our side started on the street. These black gangs that were already there uniting because the Crips started and was such a formidable force. Once that war started, you talking about 71, 72, 73. I was born in 78. I'm born that war, the 80 bloody drive-by wars, and then the 90 walk-up. That's my generation, the 90 walk-up, right?
Yeah.
We didn't teach all the homies. You know, I used to teach it because I hear it all day from the big homies because I was that connected with them. But the niggas on the block, we didn't teach them niggas, hey, this is what happened in 69. And no, we taught them niggas, hey, nigga, this how you steal a car. Look, that bitch you fucking over there, you talking about you ain't got no burner. Nigga, her daddy got a gun. Nigga, you need to slide up in that nigga closet. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you need to go rob that security guard on Slauson with this burner and take his gun. So now we got two guns. You see what I'm saying? You need to have money. You talking about you banging, nigga. You need to have money so you got buy shells, so you can buy guns, this and this and that. They was taught survival because that's what it really was. Outnumbered sometimes 7 to 1, 8 to 1. You know what I'm saying? So they all only thing they really were taught was that these is their homeboys, this is their neighborhood, don't snitch, and how to survive. Immediate retaliation. That's it, bro. And, you know,
let me ask you this. Is the Crips bigger on the West Coast?
What?
I don't know. Yeah. I want to know, is the Crips bigger than the Bloods on the West Coast?
Man, hell yeah.
Okay.
What? Man, listen. You got gangs like the Rolling 60 Crips who could boast probably about 2,000 with all their generations, about 2,000. You got the Rolling 40 Crips who could boast that. You got the East Coast Crips who could boast that. With the biggest gangs like the Pasadena Devil Lanes is real deep, the Bounty Hunters is real deep. All the Brims together make numbers. We might be able to post 2,500. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, and the only reason motherfuckers was able to survive through those wars was because we were such a formidable foe, and because the Crips used to always be beefing with each other, and we had unity. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, hell yeah, they all.
Hey, give me a second real quick. Hey, whoever's playing in the background, can you please mute yourself so we can hear this man clearly?
Gemini.
Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
Matter of fact, that was my daughter. I'll tune back in. My bad, y'all.
All right, God bless. Be safe, brother.
All right, you too.
But yeah, man, but it still ain't what it used to be, thank God. But at the same time, right now, like LA been on fire. Before the summer, every summer LA on fire. So many functions, so many gangbangers. Everybody want to be there, especially when they got money. You know what I'm saying? And you got money, you gonna see motherfuckers you don't get along with it. Shit been popping everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They niggas get knocked down, but
just like the East Coast, man. Like the violence is like at an all-time high right now. Whether you're young or older, the shooting is just crazy when it comes to gang violence right now.
Man, I swear, sometimes I be questioning, like, is this like what's that shit where they was where they was killing everybody? The movie, what was it?
But the Purge.
The Purge. I'm like, is this the purge of all the real niggas and active niggas? Like, is this what's really going on? You know? Like, that shit is fucking crazy.
No bullshit. That's how it feel like where I'm at right now.
Where you from, Activechuckss?
I'm from New York, but I'm out in the land right now, Cleveland right now, man. And it's like back and forth with these insane GD niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't even gonna front. Like, should be wild out here.
Yeah, I think that's the pandemic, homie. I got everybody.
Like I ain't even gonna stunt. Like I got a twin. I had a twin brother. You know what I'm saying? These niggas took my twin from me. You know what I mean? So it's like it's up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to keep it 10,000. How old are you, though, brother Applejack? If you don't mind me asking you that.
I'm 33. I just turned 33 September 29th. Libra game.
So no offense, right? But when do you make a change? When do you make a turn for the better? When do you say to yourself, man, I don't want to be out here? Huh?
Let me explain this right quick. Yeah, right. Where I come from is my whole project is Brim, right? And when we were younger, it used to be about like doing stupid stuff and running around, ducking and stuff like that. But after a while, dudes got locked up. Dudes came out. Everybody else that was still in the street was still doing the same shit. So everybody tried to level up, started getting money instead of trying to get into the deep shit. But I don't know if it was the drill wave or whatever it is, but certain areas, especially like my area, it just started to just turn up. And now it's to the point where it's like niggas took my brothers from me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's up there, like you can't. It's like you open Pandora's box, you can't shut that shit down no more. You know what I mean?
I understand, brother. But when does it end? You know what I'm saying? Like it got to be an end. When do they take your life? That's when it ends. Because I'm just curious, man. Because it's been so many deaths, so many shootings, and it's like senseless shit. You know what I'm saying? It's shit that's not getting better. So with that kind of thinking, that kind of mentality is only going to lead to more damage and more black on black crime. Shit don't get better with that kind of thinking, my brother.
Let me be honest. For me personally, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to find my own way. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do my own thing, open up my online apparel shop. I'm just trying to find my way. But I also know how a lot of dudes be thinking out here, and it's like it's over when they gone.
I hear you, man. I just wish that, it's all about the mindset, man. It's all about the thinking, man. If you could change your way of thinking, man, you could change your way of life. You know what I'm saying? But if you still thinking it's up and it's stuck, see what I'm saying? It's not going to change nothing. No matter how good you do, no matter how much you change your life around, you're thinking. If you don't change your thinking, man, you're always going to result to the same shit.
No, I understand what you're saying. For me personally, that's why it's like I want to get away from this because I've spent my time. Like I did 7 years upstate, and when I came out, dudes was still on the same shit. And when I first came home, tell everybody like, yo, this shit's for the birds. Like we missing everybody. Everybody I grew up with, like the original cast, they all gone. Like, what's up with y'all? Like, try to open your mind, but it's like at the same time we can't stop the aggression from the other side. So when dudes is just chilling in the projects and niggas just come sliding through, you get mad about that shit, you know? And then like I wasn't always like all about like, yo, fuck these niggas, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, after a while, you constantly having to like run for your life. You just get tired of this shit.
I understand that though, man, but I'm gonna keep it real, right? I'm gonna keep it 10,000, right? Right now, the way I feel, gang banging is not the way to go. It's just that's sucker shit, man. Right now, I'm just gonna keep it real right now. If you're not trying to build a business with your gang and trying to eat and trying to get money for all of y'all to eat and elevate and make something happen and make it into a real organization, it ain't about shit. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I know some people just, I don't want to offend nobody or nothing like that because I never been part of a gang, but I grew up around nothing but a gang. And I just thought it was lame. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always one of them dudes, man. I would like, you know what I'm saying? If I was going to be part of a gang, I wanted to turn it into an organization so I could bring in profit and feed my people. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not with the shooting another black man or killing just anybody for that reason, period. You know what I'm saying? So I always looked at it as like, man, there's a whole bunch of Bloods, a whole bunch of Crips. Why not come together, or whoever run the set, why not come together, bring your gang together, and let's bring in revenue legally. Let's eat together. So you don't see that all the time. You don't see that around. So that's why I always thought gangs was like for lanes, man. Like it is not the wave. Just not the wave to go with, man. But there's also these rappers, they promote a lot of these gang activities inside they videos and they lyrics. So a lot of the kids, they looking at this shit and they thinking this shit is dope. But little do they know it's either jail or your life. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see where it's going. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand that. Like, first off, let me pour you a drink real quick. My kid's 3 years old. I would never tell that nigga to put his head to get into this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a sad shit, because when I was first growing up, it was like dudes was really looking out for each other. But it's different now. It's just like it's not the same. But at the same time, it's not like niggas is just letting everybody out to fend for themselves. Like, we just opened up our own apparel shop on the internet. It's called 7eventsapparel.co. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas is really doing shit to try and get up. It's just, we just got this extra strain on our back of, you know, people trying to get a name off themselves. And when it comes to rappers, man, like, I don't even, like, there's a lot of rappers I don't even hang with, because honestly, around where I'm from, rappers is the ones that started all of this shit. Like rappers wasn't even being real niggas. They was just chilling around real niggas, and then they start mentioning shit, and then something happens to them, and then that's how it all started, and everybody started blowing up. So it's
Let me ask you this: when did you come home, homie? When you came home?
Oh, I originally, okay. Right now, I'm Southside 59 FHA. You know what I'm saying? I'm repping that West Coast set, but I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? I originally first came home back in 2006. I was repping with the Brick City niggas. We was out there in the 908. You know what I'm saying? In Newark, New Jersey, we was doing our little thing. I even remember like all the stuff they try to imprint on us. You know, like bows and everything else. You know what I mean? But like, there was a whole situation I don't even want to get into, where there was, you know, like when it comes to Brims, we was trying to create like some type of unity, and I ended up finding my way with Southside 59. But back then it was crazy, but it wasn't like as crazy like you was hating on another homie. It was more like we was trying to stick together and honestly, like, niggas was kind of oppressing other people. I ain't in front, because we was like running in and just taking shit from people. But I mean, that was a part of like the street life, especially when we was locked up and shit, you know? But we was just not doing that to homies, you know? Nowadays, niggas do that to homies.
050. Yo, let me ask you a question, right? So, from my understanding, OG Mac brung blood to the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
So you got West Coast dudes that's claiming that he's not valid. So would that make every blood on the East Coast not valid? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just asking the question because I'm just trying to figure out, like, all right, so they say OG Mac brought blood to the East Coast. So
yo, you hear me?
Yeah,
you hear me?
Yeah.
That's like a child who was taught wrong, right?
Yeah.
Which you have to, which you feel you got to correct that child, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. So it's the same thing with OG Mac, right? We are OG Mac kids, you know, and we was taught wrong, so they came and correct us. That's how I feel. Say that again. What she said?
Who you said came and corrected us?
Our heads from the West Coast. That's why I'm under West Coast hood. We follow under West Coast chapters.
She heard you?
I guess so. She didn't reply back.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Go ahead, Ray. You can speak, Ray. You good. Yo, Ray. I thought he wanted to speak.
Yeah, Harlem.
Yeah, so yeah, that was my thing though. Like, cause
that's
I
what I'm saying.
When he was up here, he was saying, yeah, OG Mac, he was fraudulent, he was a snitch.
Yeah, he is, because he taught us wrong. But once the originals came over here and showed us the way, you know what I'm saying? That's where different sets came from. That's why now you see nowadays everybody is under original sets.
Okay.
Let me ask, how old are you again? I'm sorry.
What she said?
She said, how old are you?
Yo, she banging like.
I don't know. That's what I want to ask. That's why I want to ask the same
like
thing.
I'm looking at the picture like yo.
It's no it's no none of that. I just I'm from a certain era, and I'm just asking a question. You can put the answer or not. It's no big deal.
Oh, I'm 41. You heard?
He's 41 years old, Steph.
Oh, okay.
Hey, yo, let me put my little mix on this nigga OG Mac, right? I understand where you're coming from when you say, when you're asking that whole shit about, like, since he's wrong, would that make everybody else wrong? The whole thing is, he already put people in. Blood's already in them. They already out there bleeding for this shit, dying for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Losing people for this shit. You know what I mean? So you can't turn around and tell these niggas they not blood. You know? So what they got to do is they have to tune in and tune in properly. You know what I mean? So that's what dudes did. Once they figured out, shit with OG Mac, whatever, niggas started to tune in.
Of course. Yeah, you're right. I get what you're saying. Anybody else want to chime in, man? I guess not. You heard?
I just think it's real interesting to hear people's perspectives on shit. That's it. I think it's kind of
yeah, me too. Because I'm not a gang member. I've never been a gang member.
Yo, it's definitely Cloud Chasing TV, man. We back to finish thing again. You dig? Hey, man, we got some news to report. Feel me? We gonna get to it when it comes down to OG or legend. Feel me?
Right.
Yo, feel me, let these people know your name and where you exactly from.
I'm from Wack, California. My name Kevin. You know they call me Big Stretch.
Got you. And like, yeah. So you like,
Nickerson Garden, huh?
so you out the projects, Nickerson Gardens. I got you. So like man, tell us a little bit about your upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Was the 80s or the 70s?
I'm a 70s baby, man. I was born in 1970 to be exact. I'm 51 years old.
Got you. So like when it came down to it, like when it, you know, you coming from being the 70s babies and you going into the 80s, like shit, what it was like, family.
You know, the 80s was a different time. It was a different time. It was crazy, but it was a little more. It was way different, you know. Growing up in the 80s, you know, gangbanging was totally different. The streets, you know, the neighborhoods, you know, everything was a lot different. Amongst the older blacks, there was a lot more unity, but the gangbanging was a lot different. You know, we had to go to school in certain areas. We all had to use the same school, you know, different sections, you know, different projects. We all had to go to this certain, you know, school together. So, you know, it was like almost like a war zone, you know. It was melees and, you know, it was crazy. It was off the chain. You know, it's a vibe, you know.
So when you coming from that type of environment, like what age did you actually like had to jump off the porch or like, you know what I'm saying, like the means it was necessary?
It's crazy. I was talking to my girl the other day about this, you know what I'm saying? I jumped off the porch young, you know what I mean? Actually, going up in Watts, it's right there, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta get off the porch, it's right there. But I jumped off the porch, you know, elementary really, you know, had to. I grew up in the projects. You know, I had to fight bullies. I'm the oldest of two brothers. I have two younger brothers. So, you know, I had to protect them, you know what I'm saying, and fighting bullies and growing up in the projects, you know, getting chased home and, you know what I'm saying, and your mama telling you, nigga, you don't run, you better fight. You know, my mom would be like, which one you had a problem with? I ran home one day. It seemed like the whole school was chasing me. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to fight one cat. I looked up, there's a whole bunch of people. When I got to the house, my mama said, actually, I was running to the door, bro. And she looked out the window because I was yelling my mama's name. Like 30, 40 kids behind me. Most of them were spectators. And my mama looked out the window, she opened the door, and she closed the door. So I thought she unlocked it. When I got to the door, it was locked. And I'm like, I that feeling at that moment, I didn't know what to think. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I thought my mama just was like, I didn't know what was up. I'm like, no. And I turned around and, you know, faced the music. I'm standing on my project unit. And I'm looking at 20, 30 kids, you know what I'm saying? And they laughing. Your mama left. When she didn't leave, she locked the door and she came around the front. Without the front door and came around. And when she came around, she said, I ain't raised no punk. Which one of them you got a problem with? I pointed him out. She said, whoop his ass. And I whooped his ass. After that, I didn't have no more problems, you know what I mean, as far as that was concerned. But I still had to fight bullies every day, you know. You fighting the dudes who got 4, 5, 6, 7 big brothers. And, you know, it was a different player field, man. Gang banging and all, like, you know, you didn't even have to gang bang to be accused, you know what I'm saying?
No, no doubt.
If you lived on one side of the projects, or you lived on one side of the street, and that neighborhood was that, kids from another neighborhood gonna consider you a part of that. So peer pressure was real heavy back then. You know, it still is today, but it was real heavy. You know, and then it was like you had no choice anyway. I'm going home, fighting gang bang. I'm walking home. The kids that live where I live, and here come the other gang, and they chasing us. They're not gonna say, "Oh, they're gonna get you too." We was sitting in class, and dudes used to come. You know, the other gang, the opposite gangs come, and they looking in the classrooms, and they'll be looking in the classrooms, and you know, like peeking through the windows, like, who, you know, see if it's, you know, opposition's up in there. And if they see something, which I've been in there, and we had homies came to the, you know, hey, they coming, and we running out the classroom. You know what I'm saying? But teaching was a lot different too. You know, school they're passionate. They care if you know, did the work or not. There was really no help from the teachers as far as like if you was getting jumped by some gang members or anything like that. They didn't get involved.